Hi all, thanks for joining me. It's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. I didn't prepare anything for today. I've had a really busy week, and so I was just sitting down at my desk and thought I really need to make up some more clusters and tags and bits for my journals. So I thought I'd turn on the video and you can come along for the ride. It's going to be one of those videos, where you always just have them on in the background while you're working. I'm rambling away or somebody else is rambling away, and you can look up every now and again and see what they're doing. So feel free to ramble away with me. But yeah, I've got the house to myself. So I thought, well, I'll turn on the video. I need to do some more clusters, as I said. I've got a pile of clusters that I've always got going, but they're in my standard colours. So they're all soft sepia ones, ready to go. Now, I've done tutorials before on doing these because I used the old die cut pieces out of the Kaisercraft 6x6 or 6.5 by 6.5 inch paper pads. But if you look, they're all the same toning, and every now and again I want a little bit of colour. So that's what I needed to sit down today and do. So I need some tags in different colours, but I mainly need some clusters in different colours. I love my clusters because I can just, whether they're flowers, whether they're these sorts of ones, so that I can just add them to my pages as just a finish off if I've got just a page of journaling, and I can tuck them on with a paper clip or staple them on or stick them on to a tuck and do all those sorts of things, and they just add a little bit of oomph to your page. But as I said, all of mine at the moment that I've got sitting here are all this one colour. So I need to make some brighter ones, and I need some bird or butterfly themed ones, mainly bird ones. So as I said, I was sitting here playing and I thought I'll turn on the video. So I've started just by stamping out some, got a new bird stamp. Strange that. Got a new bird stamp. It was a close to my heart one, and hang on a moment. I had it sitting here just a minute ago. Move that, move that, move that. That's that one. So it's a Stampin' Thin Cuts one. And Spruced Up, I think, is what it's called. And I mainly got it for those birds. I love these birds. So I've just been playing, as I said, sitting down playing, and then I thought I'll turn on the video. They're beautiful little birds, and I know I said I was going to go brighter, and I will go brighter, the backgrounds, bits and pieces. So I've just stamped them out. There's two different birds. I've stamped them out in a calligraphy paper. A friend of mine found me some of this the other week at an op shop. So it's just specialty calligraphy paper for practicing. Don't know anything about it, but it's wonderful. So it's very, very thin, slightly glossy side, and then a matte side. I don't know anything more about it, I'm afraid. It's just one of those things. I have a thing for paper, any type of paper, and it was just something different. So I've stamped them out. I've actually stamped on this paper the other weekend when she gave it to me, and I stamped out some Tim Holtz ones and realised that they went straight through. So I had a mirror image version. Same inks, I've stamped them in my birds, but they haven't come out as well. So that's fine. I didn't really need them to, as my birds were mirror imaged, technically anyway. They're a little bit different, but they'd give me either left or right. So I've stamped them out in three different colours. I've got coffee, black, and hydrangea. Now, all my inks are the archival inks. This one, the hydrangea, is a Wendy Vecchi one, and I find that they're not quite as crisp on certain papers. So you'll see here, this is the black, and you see all the fine details. I'm hoping that's in shot. That's the hydrangea with the Wendy Vecchi. See how you miss a lot of the details? They bleed a little bit. So even though it's an archival ink, the difference, and they're both by Ranger, the difference being the designer series, the Wendy Vecchi designer series, does tend to bleed a little bit and you don't get quite as much detail. With certain stamps, it makes no difference. But with some of them that have a lot of detail, and I know I've got some photo stamps that the Wendy Vicky ones just don't work on at all. So it's just a tip just to remember, even if you've got an archival ink and you're having a bit of problem with it, it could be that it's one of the designer series ones. So the majority of my inks that I stamp with are just the standard Ranger archival inks, sepia, coffee, black, and I've got a couple of other colours. All my yummy colours are in these Wendy Vicky ones, but I've got to watch what I stamp with them. So that's how these birds came about, and I was practicing the different types of inks with them. So I've stamped one lot on the matte section and one lot on the gloss section, and really there's been no difference. I've then just gone over in an antique linen distress ink and a blending tool just so that they weren't quite as white, because I can't help myself. It's just one of those things. What I wanted to do with these guys, and look, it makes no difference whether it's the shiny or the matte. I'm a right-hander, so I just wanted to tear around them and give them a soft edge. As I said before, it's a really soft paper, so it'll, well, I was hoping it would tear easy. This is the first time I've really played with it. I might get it out of there so that I've got a smaller piece to play with. Which is why I went over it in my antique linen and just around the edges, or in a little, out a little bit from, oh, I'm doing really well with my words today, aren't I? Just a bit out from the stamped image is what I was trying to say, so that it would not have that white backing. So I'll need a fairly large cluster base for this one, but I need to put some colour in these, and that's the whole point to today. I needed some extra colour because, again, and I've started with those colours. So I've just got a whole thing here of cluster bases. Some of these I've already gone over with the antique linen, but I'm staying away from this colour today. And these are just all the ones out of those paper pads. So I'll pull a pile out. We'll look at some sizes. Okay. So what I tend to do with these, because I won't use these sides at all, what I do is find two matchy ones. That's a different one to that. That one matches that one, so you can see the same. And I'll just join them together like so. Saying that, that one I may actually use. So find two that I will not use, join them together so that I've got a slightly thicker cluster as well. But it also means that I'm using up some of these ones that I know I will never use in a pink fit. So I just need to find, there we go, my little gluey bit and my glue stick. And I will just glue the two of them together, and I just use my glue stick. And I've done this before. I've got a tutorial on it. I think it's making clusters from paper pads or whatever else. But if I can remember at the end, I will put the link in there. But it's the easiest way to, one, get through your paper pads, and two, it's a great way to have cluster bases sitting there ready to go, normally. And as I said, normally I will just use those colours, but I really need some extra ones. Now, take off all those tab bits where they were stuck in, and I'm going to leave this white, which is, I know, really unusual for me because I don't use white. Well, I'm going to not ink it. What I'm going to do instead is make some space. Excuse me. Sit you over there, you over there, you over there. And I'm and I've pulled out just a few sprays. Now, these are the old Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists. I don't know if you can still get them. I love them. They spray, they're not really in your face, some of them, and they give a bit of a sheen. So, I love this turquoise blue. Let's see if it works. I'll make some space, and then I can just do it on my mat and wipe it up later on. They say with the Glimmer Mist ones, you shouldn't shake them. Some of them, like Perfect Pearls, yes, you can shake. But the Glimmer Mist, you should really stir. You want to get that base out of the bottom, which is all your nice little metallic-y bits. Right, so I just want a little bit there, and Meadow Green, give him a little bit of a squirt as well. And then I can clean up my mat. And I've given myself a brighter background. Oh, you might not work. Nope. This one doesn't want to squirt, so it needs a new squirter. But as I want to use it straight away, I'm just going to pop some green on there, that way. Because I'm lazy, and I know I've got more squirter bottles here somewhere, but, you know, that would take time, and I usually want to work straight away. If I just go like that, giving myself some colour in my background, I'll grab a cloth, and I can wipe. Now, if I want to, I can just sit my paper onto the rest of that. It's a bit like using your distress inks and watering them down. But for today, I'm just going to clean up as I go, which is, again, really strange for me. So, clean all that up so there's no ink sitting there. And that's why I like my glass mats. The craft mat ones, the soft ones that you can ink on and all the rest, used to use those all the time, but I'd find I'm cleaning and they'll move and they'll scrunch up and all the rest. The glass mat doesn't go anywhere on me. So I just want that to dry. I've got my heat gun right beside me, but as I don't edit and I just do it in the one take, I'm sure you don't want to hear the heat gun going. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, look, and I've got my bits everywhere. So I want a little bit more on that. And I really just want to use some muslin and stuff like that. But the whole point of this is to get some brighter colours going. And I need brighter colours. So, I've got some washi tape there that's in a brighter colour. I've got, oh, it's kind of in a brighter colour, isn't it? I don't have a great deal of brighter colours. So while that's drying, I'll just sit him there for that one. We'll pick up the next one. Right. Let's go. One of those. One of those. We'll get these all drying while I work on the next one. So, I may have to just turn round and quietly use the heat gun. I'm not technical enough to do all the editing and everything like that yet, so. All right, sit you there. You gonna match? If they don't match too well, don't worry too much about it, because I tend to ink my corners or my edges later on, and they will just, that'll then cover where they're not going. Does that make sense? All over with my words, aren't I? Right, so I'm just using Sugar Plum Fairy here. I'm going to move that one further over there. My little birdie with it. I'll give this one an all over. Oh. See, now normally they wouldn't work. Let's have a look and put them together. Just so that I can... You're going to work? Yep. All right, what I want to do with this one, got a really dodgy. I'm just going to pat that so that it gives it that backing colour. And then once it's dry, I'm going to go over in areas with the Oriental Poppy. All right, so instead of inking, I've just got that straight up. So I don't know if you can see, can you see the slight glimmer in that? All right, let's have a look at some Oriental Poppy with it and really give this one some zing. Just for once, I'm not using my inks and all the rest. Whereas normally I'd sit here and I'd use all my inks and give myself my colour with those. But as I said, I was sitting here prior doing this and I haven't changed my foams. I've got my ink, my distress inks are in their containers around the corner. So these were sitting on my desk. So we're going to use these. How about, I use a stencil with that. Let's just, now I'll lean up a little bit and I'll use that stencil. Because I'm spraying, the stencil's not going to give a fantastic finish because it'll want to seep under it. But I want a little bit there and there. So let's see how we go with that. Hold him down. Actually, I'm going to hold him right down so that he tries not to bleed too much. So I'll just grab some other washi tape and hold that right down. So that it won't move at all. I want it as tight on there as I possibly can. And I don't mind if it comes out too patchy. I don't mind if it comes out patchy at all. What I don't really want is too much bleeding going through my stencil so that my letters or my words come out funny. So I don't want to go too much. All right, and you can see I go everywhere bar where I'm actually meant to be. Probably should have bought paper towel in for this because I don't think this cloth's going to work for too much longer. Yuck. Pat that down. Take that off and see what we've got. There's always that thing, once you use a stencil, the big unveiling of, what have I created? Have I created anything? Oh, yes, look, I like that. All right, just give that a little wipe and I'll sit it aside to wash out later on. I really need some paper towel. Really need some paper towel. Hang on, bear with me. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Should have, yep. Awesome. And I'm back. All right. Paper towel. Right, and that one's just going to go in the bin. Okay. Beautiful. And that'll all just be cleaned up properly later on. And when I want to clean this up later on, all I'll do is spray a little bit of water from one of my misters and it'll all just wipe off. So, and this, if I'm good, I will clean it by running it under the cold tap. Not too much came through, so I'm pleased with that. I haven't used that stencil before either, and I've had him for a little while now. Right. Yes, I'm quite pleased with that. Can you see the glitter going on in that? Or is that just a me thing? Am I the only one that can see the glitter in that? All right, and because it's me, I'm sorry. Inking again, walnut stain, just lightly around my edge. Yeah, I know. I talk too much. I'm sorry. Maybe I just like the sound of my own voice. All right. Now, this is still a little bit wet. You can feel it wanting to curl a little bit, but I'm happy with that. All right, let's see how this one's going. That one's almost dry. So 2 completely different backgrounds I've got there with some sprays. There's lots of different sprays on the market. Just because I'm using Tattered Angels doesn't mean you have to use Tattered Angels. There are so many sprays. The Distress Inks all come in sprays these days. The Oxides come in sprays. Perfect Pearls come in sprays. Maya Road comes in sprays. There's just so many out there. If you want to, you can make your own sprays by doing all sorts of bits and things. A bit of food colouring, bit of Pearl-X powder popped in there. You know, you can make your own that way. Put them in a little spray bottle. So there's lots of things to do with them. And they tend to sit on my desk and I just pick them up. So just excuse my arm stretching through. See, I have all my distress sprays sitting here in front of me. On that side, I have all my Glimmer Mist ones on that side. They're about one of the only real mixed media things that I tend to use all the time. All right, so I'm going to pop things on that. And as I said, I want bright. So let's have a look. I've pulled out, before I started, my little tubs of birds. I didn't pull out my butterfly one. Sorry, that is awfully loud. Oh, got to find a new way to do these. Let's just have a look. What have we got in here? Right, you fit. And so this is my large add-ons so that I can have something sitting behind that bird. Do I got a label? Not particularly. I see I've got one half done there. Look at that. Again, these are off the paper pads of where I can actually use them. I might need the smaller ones. Oh, that one might. Because it's not too big that it's going to cover all of my work. Sorry, thinking. But it's big enough that you don't lose it in there. So, I wonder what they came from. Don't like the shape. All right. But if I put that one down there and actually have you hanging over, could still put something behind that, couldn't I? All right. So I'll link him. All right. I hope the weekend is treating you all right. It is Sunday here at the moment. Everybody, of course, around the world are on their different days. So whatever day it is, and whatever day it is that you're watching, I hope it's treating you well. If you've just finished work and need a little bit of relax time, sit down, take a deep breath, get yourself a cuppa or a wine or whatever's your choice, and just take some me time. We all need me time. I've come to the conclusion. It's just one of those things, regardless. Right, I want something else. I'm going to lose you a little bit. If I sit you between there and there. Still want something blah going on behind that to give me a little bit of colour. Something light. What have I got in fabric sitting here? my creams and my whites and my softs. That's not going to work. They just won't. It's just as simple as that. What have I got in serviettes? Let's have a look at those. Should have brights in serviettes so that there's something there, but it will still show through onto him. Got lots of birdies. Let's have a look at that. Sit you there. Now I'm just tearing and playing as you do. Just give me a little bit more colour sitting in here, like that. And I want a small add-on beside him. These are just all my small, and I mean, like, some of them are really small. Love these little small ones, but they're just not quite the right size. So let's see what else we've got down there. Calling all small ones. A lot of these are from the Tim Holtz Field Notes. A lot of them are ones that I've cut out from paper pads or different bits of paper when they're really small. Some of them are from digitals. They are literally a collection of all sorts. Don't really want another label. Oh, hang on. Not in that colour. It's really hard when you usually work in a certain colour to then turn round. See, I'm going back to those colours again, aren't I? All right. I'll start sticking some of these down just so that I can see what I've got here. Where's my gluey? This is just my glue stick on my serviette. If it was a little bit smaller, I'd just run it over the top, but it's just a tad bit larger. So I just need to make sure I get my corners. And it's just somewhere down there, just wherever. Give him a push, stick him down. I want this one, but I want him off there. So I'm actually going to just run a little bit of glue through the centre, leaving the edges about that far. All right. Down like so. Is that even? Close to. Cloth. Fresh cloth. Just so I can push down. I want to tuck him up and under there, didn't I? What if I can before he's all glued down? No, he's glued now. All right. So I had that there, that there, that there, and I'm going to chop that bit off. Like so. So that when I sit him on there now, didn't need to, did I? I really didn't need to chop it off. Oh well. Always pays to look first. See, now these are just off a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper that I've cut the birds out of. When I get a moment, I tend to sit down and I'll fussy cut things, put them in my piles. I don't know about you, but I quite like fussy cutting. It's just, you know, refresh time type thing. Again, it just gives you me time. So if I sit that there and there between the W and the P, he sits in there. glue him down, lift that up, because I wanted that to sit in there. And I might need just to get rid of that white edge. So see how it's got the white edge from where I've cut it out? We'll just get rid of that. Give him some glue. Just going to tuck you in there. Give him a push. Oh, that wasn't straight. There we go. Do I need anything else on there? I really want my muslin, but I'm not using it. What if I could put a dangle on that? But I could put some fabric behind there that comes out of there, couldn't I? I could use some ribbon. How's that, in one of the seam bindings, and just slightly gather it behind it. So just grab my seam binding out, because that's of course down around the corner. Oh. Right, so I could use that one. What have I got that's a bit brighter? I could use a green, couldn't I? Let's have a look at either of those and see which one I want. That one kind of fades into it. That's a better colour. I like that colour better. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'll need double-sided tape. Now I could sew this into a gathering stitch and attach it on the bottom. I don't know if I've said today, but I'm lazy. And I tend not to turn round and go over to my sewing machine, especially if I've got the camera on, because I'll, I only want a little bit, because I don't edit and all the rest. I just do this in a take. What I want is my little 3mm double-sided tape, which is just this really narrow one. And I'm going to run it from the edge all the way across the back of where that label is. I'll just do that, trim him, give him a push, make sure he's really solidly on there, peel off my backing, and then I'm going to just gather this using my double-sided tape. So stick him down to start with. And it's just gathering him across and giving him a push down as I go. So it's probably not as gathered as much as if I'd gone and used the gathering stitch on my machine, but it gives me a sort of effect, if that makes sense, for what I'm after for this. So what it gives me is that. Right, scissors, cut that off. Big scissors. How about I go big scissors that I can actually just get in there. My thumbs. Can't go down there. There we go. Right. How's that look? Oh, yeah, no, I'm pleased with him. And it's not my standard colour. But I will use him because every now and again I want some extra colours. Guess what? I've put this one upside down. Did anybody notice that while I was doing it? I'm looking at this number, yeah, 9966. Should have been 9966 the other way. That's fine. It's fine. All right. So, let's go back to this one. See how we're going. Oh, yep, that's dry beautifully now. So, just go around my edges. And I do like the seam binding on all of these. All right. So again, you know I have to ink. It just makes them pop. It takes away that core colour going on in the inside, and it just allows it to lift up a little bit. Now this one, if I wanted to, whereas this one, because the ink, the spray has gone through, this will be attached to a page permanently. Whereas this one, if I want, could become a little journal spot. So I could attach it with a paper clip. You could pull it off and you can still use this as a journaling posie. Now I want to use this one this time. So, because this was my initial one that I wanted to try, and this was the whole reason this came about, was because I wanted to try these new birdies. Let's have a think of what else we can do with this one. Okay. Just casually go around that just to highlight that it's ripped. You'll notice that when I was spraying, or not when I was spraying because it was the green, when I was actually flicking the green, I've ended up with some green on there, and I'm not too concerned about that. Oh, he fits on there beautifully. Sorry, I think I just broke my toe. Ow. So he fits really well. I want some extra colour going on in there though. So, because my birdie is quite, mind you, I like him. But I'm thinking I might like an extra birdie. I might go back to this one. I'm thinking now I might like a bit of a torn. Got crackling campfires sitting right in front of me. Hang on. I've got a couple of distress inks sitting in front of me. Let's just try that rustic wilderness. What I want to try and do is, do I have any foams up there? Yes, I do have a foam. I'm just going to make some space. Birds. So what I want is I want some book page or something like that behind it, and then I might colour him the rustic wilderness. So if I want some book page, I never did use him. I may even use him too. All right, we'll finish off this one and then we'll see how we go. Right, I'm just going to move these guys out, otherwise I get very sidetracked and go, ooh, and I shouldn't do that. Put the lid back on that one, because I need some room for stamping. What I want is got it. Right, got a Hero Arts. It's a very large stamp, I know, for what I want. But it's just a perfect book page that I can then get in any colour that I want. I want a piece of cardstock, light paper, something like that, that I can then rip and tear. So I might just use copy paper. Just good old standard copy paper. And then I can stamp that. What I'm going to stamp it in though is, oh, that needs to go back onto those add-ons. I'm going to stamp it with my coffee ink, which I put where? Oh, right there. All right, so I'm going to stamp it in the coffee, which will pick up the brown of my bird. Tuck that one away. Oh, no, it was only my lights. That's fine. So I want up there. And I don't mind if it comes out a little bit, you know, how's your mother type thing. So in and out. There's a word for that. No, it's gone. There is a word for it. Let's see. Oh, I think the sun just came out here. Just very nice. Don't need too much. I only need a little bit. I'm just going to sit it on there and hand push down. Not going to worry about a block. The edges. Let's see what we've got. Lovely dovely. Right, give that a little while to dry. And then let's have a look at Rustic Wilderness. I'll pull off that one. Got another. I should have another blending tool somewhere, but I cannot find it. Let's just have a look at this. Browns, blues. I would have liked my blending tools, but no. All right. We'll just go with this one. I'll just do all of it and then we can work out where I want to tear it. Because that's quite, really having troubles here today. It's nice and crisp here, but it's not very crisp over there. So I'm looking at that bit down there. And I'm trying to make that as variegated as I can. So I'm actually going in and making darker patches so that wherever I tear, I will have some ins and outs going with my green, and then I can go around my edges again. So I just do that lightly. Then I've got a real variegated look, because it'll look different, completely different again, once I actually tear it down to the right size, and then I can go from that. All right. So I'm thinking a straight edge on that side. I'm just going to get my ruler and tear a little bit down there. How about I straighten that first? If I tear there. So what I'm ending up with is a straight torn edge, but torn with my ruler. And then I want to hand tear that side and that side. I will probably tear the top too. Maybe, maybe not. What do you reckon? Back into my brown. So you can see how where I've inked, I've now got my darker and lighter spots spots. Now, this is Distress ink, so if I wanted to, I can spray a little bit of water on it and give it a slight water effect. I don't know whether I'm after that at this stage, but... So the colour we've just used there is Rustic Wilderness. Go down there. Oh, and all that because I want to use that new bird stamp. And I haven't at all in the end. That'd be right. That's because there is no rhyme or no reason to the way I do things. It's just whatever takes my fancy at the time. And there will always be something else sitting on my desk that I'll go, but that will work even better. Right, so I have lots of little bits sitting on my desk. Do I want that or do I want a piece of muslin? I actually think I want you behind it. So, big scissors. So if that's going to stick there, that one can stick there. This one can go here. Still want something in there, don't I? So if we go back to my small add-ons again, and let's have a look again. Could always put a little field notes label. That will work. I really need to do some red things because there's so many beautiful little red. No. I might just go that way. Well, that one was quick and easy. Right, so I want a little bit of glue around that. That will then hold that in as well. So just my white glue around my edges. And I'm just going to chuck a little bit of my blue glue in the centre, like so. Yeah, no, it's just a me thing. It's all right. It's not needed. It's not required. It's just a me thing. Give him a push down. All right, so that's going to hold my muslin in as well. My little birdie going to be in there. You're going to be tucked down into that. So I need to ink that one first of all. All right, a little bit of glue for that one as well. A little bit out of him, so if I put glue underneath that, it'll hold all that down as well. Let's hope. My bird's not glued down yet, I'm just sitting him there. How about once again, we turn him up the right way. All right, now I can glue my bird down. Little bit in there. Again, this bird's the same as the bird from the last one. They're just off a little piece of patterned 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper. Sorry, that's my grandfather clock ticking or going off or whatever it does. Right. If I sit you there, a little bit over that. Sit you down. All right, so 2 clusters in, what, 50 minutes? I'm never a fast worker. I didn't say I was going to be a fast worker, but I work. And I enjoy what I do, and that's got to be what it's all about, isn't it? That's why we do it. Surely that's why we do all this. It's a way of enjoying what we do. So we've got 2 bright little clusters right out of my comfort zone. They are nothing like my normal clusters. They're my normal ones. So, and, you know, most of mine is stamped because I tend to stamp everything. So, really, oh, I've got stenciling on that one, no stamping, but I've put a little bit of stamping on that one. I hope you've enjoyed those. I'm going to go and have some lunch, and then I'm going to come back and I might continue to make even more. They were really quite fun. Thanks for everybody for joining me, and until next time, see you later. Bye.